Hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? That's what you're wondering. Well, we're lost somewhere deep in inner Paphos. We're going to wiggle and we're going to waggle, and you never know, you might get to learn your way to somewhere new or from somewhere new. Even some of our superstars who know Paphos like the back of their hands, Mr. Andy and Miss Nessie, all the way out in downtown Shropshire, who've just popped over to Budapest for that special weekend. Even they don't know some of these routes, and he's been at Paphos for many times, many occasions, and hired a car and wiggled and waggled around many streets and found himself lost once or twice, that is for sure. Mr. Paul, well, he knows the area pretty well, so if you sit in that little companion seat or in the back seat, or if you've got a couple of big jumpers and your names are Lord Jeremy and Lord Simon, perhaps we can stuff you in the boot. Today we're in a Honda HR-V, one of my latest purchases, and it's a fabulous car. I bought it off a lady called Miss Barbara, who used to live in downtown Kasuri, who's now returned to the UK. And this lady bought this car brand new in 2005, and it's an absolute pleasure to have bought it off the lady. It's a fabulous car indeed. Only did 123,000 kilometres. I swear to you, it drives better than it came out of the factory. We came to a very agreeable deal, and if you'd like to buy it, all you got to do is message me in the comments, and guess what? This could be that special car for you. A nice Honda HR-V 2005 automatic gearbox, and it drives as good as new. Best car for Cyprus, by the way. Not too big, not too small, jacked up that little bit, and with that magic ingredient called an automatic gearbox. Anyway, where are we? Well, we are to the rear of the Paphos Law Courts. That's where we actually are. So if you're looking for a great lawyer in Paphos, perhaps this could be the place for you. And now and again, even the greatest lawyer in the world, and her name is Miss Anna, my superstar. She pops over to downtown Paphos and has a bit of a wander around, and I bet she popped into the courts to just see how efficient the legalities are. She probably inquired, are there any vacancies for a good judge or two? Because yes, she's fully qualified as a judge as well, so she can try you and acquit you, especially me if I go through too many red traffic lights, especially for Sir Neil and of course Lady Ali, who do like a trip out to downtown Paya now and again. Now, the road surfaces in and around Paphos, as you may have noticed, are not very good. And when I'm normally driving around in my S-Class, I always complain in my head. And I always tell a lady, oh, so sweet Caroline, to get her bottom onto that memory foam pillow. And just before she does, pull that tot or two for the superstar, the legend known as Nigel Lord Big Guns. But tell you what, as good a car as this HR-V is, it is showing, shall we say, one or two more emulations in the road surfacing in and around Paphos, because, well, it's a little bit Sherlock Holmes, to be honest. And if you're wondering, if you're new to the channel, what does Sherlock Holmes mean? Well, it was possibly the greatest detective in the world, but we use those words when something is not too good. It goes back a long way. It's a long story. One of these days we'll explain it to you. So when something's not too good, we call it Sherlock Holmes. When it's worse than not too good, we call it William Shakespeare. And when it really is diabolical, we call it Geoffrey Chaucer. So there you go. You can hunt back through your English literature and you'll understand what I'm talking about. This road has been freshly resurfaced, and to be honest, it's absolutely Sherlock Holmes. You know, if you were a surveyor in the UK, you just would not have passed that road surface. So if I was you, Padonis, that's the man in charge of Paphos, the greatest mayor in the world, I'd go and have a word with these contractors or two, and I'd be carrying a rubber mallet, or perhaps even something stronger, like a hammer, in my hand when I am negotiating with them, because they need to pull their fingers out of their bottoms and make these roads better. Because, well, what can I say? They're rubbish. Where are we? Well, we're dropping down from Kennedy Square, that's where we were before, and we're dropping down now into, well, the Rushini Road area is where we're dropping down. So I tell you what, we will take a bit of a left here, and we'll take you down what is commonly referred to by us locals as Russian Road. There's a lot of Russian people and Russian speaking people that live on this road. We'll let this young man go, because you never know, the next time someone else might run him over. Only joking. But I don't think it is checked very well. But of course the weather today is hot, so that's cooking our brains, and I include mine in that as well. The temperature today, by the way, you know, if your name is Miss Dawn, you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, a little cat called Miss Daisy, and a very, very clever dog called Bo. The temperature today is predicted to hit 41 degrees. That's in downtown Paphos. In Nicosia, they're saying 43. Oh my goodness, what can we say? Anyway, this is Russian Road and chaos, as you can see. Deliveries everywhere, and no one wants to give anyone any courtesy. This is a common thing in Paphos, by the way. If you're driving around, don't expect anyone to let you out anywhere, because it just doesn't work that way. Most people don't even see you. They are literally driving around blind with a mobile phone in both hands, a cigarette hanging out their mouth, while they sup on a frappe or two, hunting their pork kebab and adjusting their flip-flops at the same time. So you've got to understand that there's priorities that you've got to take care of when you're driving the car in and around Paphos in particular, and the priorities are in that order. The car driving bit, that comes last. Pedestrians, they don't exist, do they? And neither do other cars. It's a society of me, and me. That's the rant over, Mr. Andy. Anyway, at the end of this road here, we're going to join the inner ring road, as I call it. If we were to go left, we'd go out, shall we say, towards the Universal area, and then hit the ring road going out towards the airport. If we were to go right, we'd go to Paphos Mall roundabout. But guess what? We're going to go straight, and we're going to wiggle and waggle towards Bar Street. There we are, see? Totally different route today. What are we going down towards Bar Street for? Well, at the end of Bar Street, we're going to take a right, then we're going to take a left, and then we're going to go past the Alexander the Great Hotel, past the Amavi Hotel, the Ampura Resort, past the Olympic Lagoon Resort, round the Triangle, which is a bunch of restaurants, and then I'm going to go into Tea for Two and get myself a breakfast. So that's why. There we go. There's always a reason why Mr. Paul is going somewhere, and I do fancy a nice breakfast at Tea for Two. Tea for Two is probably the best place to go and get a breakfast. They got a Tea for Two, like I said, just off the Triangle next to the Olympic Lagoon. There's a Tea for Two just as the promenade hits, shall we say, on the corner, and you can look out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. And there's also one on the Tomb of the Kings Road, and this is not a paid promotion, by the way. I'm just letting you know where they are. 3 great restaurants and great service, and in my opinion, probably the best breakfast in the whole of Cyprus, but certainly in Paphos. Now, these traffic lights, oh, here we go, you don't have to wait a long time, you know, you really do. So often people just go through on red. If you're driving a car in and around Paphos, treat traffic lights, what should we say, with caution. That's what we'll use. Just because the lights are on green for you doesn't mean that someone might not come the other way. It doesn't work that way. If the lights are on red for you, well, you know, if you think that you might want to go through them, don't worry, because you can. Even if there's a police car behind you, just tootle through, and to be honest, they'll probably come through you afterward, because they wouldn't have even noticed if they're on green or red. That's the way it is in downtown Paphos. That's Mickey's Bar. That's the Almond Tree. What's this place coming? This is the Nerkius Hotel. And of course, Phil and Sharon want us to go in there one of these days, and we will. And she hopefully had a great birthday the other day. And we also know there's another special date coming up as well. So don't forget, Mr. Phil and Miss Sharon. Although, you may have noticed, you're not a miss, and you're not a mister anymore. Oh, no. You've been, shall we say, given a slight elevation in society. Arise, Sir Philip, and arise, Lady Sharon, all the way in downtown Cornwall. Superstars who are coming to Paphos next year, and we're looking very, very much to bumping into them. And of course, we'll have a coffee or two. Now, talking about that very, very clever dog called Mr. Bobo, how does the channel work? How does the channel get funded? Very, very simply, by the generosity of our viewers. YouTube, they don't pay you very much. Curious to what you might think, they don't. So what we've got is a little platform. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. totally safe, totally secure. You go and register one of your plastic friends to there, and now and again, if you choose, you can buy us a coffee as a thank you, a coffee as a salute, a coffee as a motivation to make us go and do a video, especially for you. Perhaps a shout out for your birthday, for your anniversary. I don't know. Call your cat in at night. I don't know. You know the answer to that, and we thank you from the bottom of our two hearts. We really, really do. You can also contribute to the channel via YouTube itself, where you've got the like, the dislike. We don't mind really if you want to hit it, don't worry. But scroll across, you've got downloads, you've got shorts, and there's also a heart-shaped button with a little $sign in the middle of it, and underneath it, it says thanks. And that, again, you hook your plastic friend to that, and you're able to donate $1 up to $1 million, I think it is. And if you did, well, I promise you, I'd go and buy a black Rolls-Royce Phantom, especially for you. Big shout out to some of the stars who like to come back and watch the little channel known as Marika and me now and again. The girl in charge of the show, her name is Dame Ann. She's a legend on Marika and me, and of course she's coming back to Paphos very, very soon, and she'll be checking into that hotel right there on the right hand side, and that is a hotel that doesn't need much of an introduction. It's called the Alex to its friends, the Alexander the Great Hotel, probably the greatest hotel in the whole of Paphos. Coming up here, that's the Amavi luxury 5-star beachside resort. Lots of people have stayed there, most recently some superstars all the way from downtown York, and well, Miss Rachel and of course her partner in crime, Mr. Jason. It was a great, great pleasure and an honour to meet you 2 or 3 times, and unfortunately I think you've gone back to the UK now, but hopefully you'll come back and we will chuck it out down the downtown Kato Paphos promenade and harbour area again and again, and we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Ampura Resort is there on the right hand side. This is the area known as the Triangle. You've got the Felix Bar, the Rimini Restaurant, Romeo and Juliet's, well it's actually called Romeo's, Juliet buggered off. Anyway, Romeo's Takeaway. You've got a business over there to rent if you want to open a cafe. It could be a great place to open a Marika and me cafe, but to be honest, it's on the wrong side of the road. Every business that's ever opened there always closes down, so not the ideal location.